Hey everybody, it's been a little while. I've missed all of you and I know I haven't been creating a lot of stuff lately, but that's kind of what this video is for. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the background to sort of set this channel up, myself up, and hopefully you up for some really exciting things that are coming down the road. So I want to talk about a couple of those things today. And I also want to talk about sort of how I came to this conclusion and why I'm going in the direction that I'm going. So let me start by saying that I've been doing this content thing for a long time. This YouTube channel has been around for almost 10 years at this point. I've been doing a jazz education podcast for about the same amount of time. That is, as of today, on 425 episodes. So I've had a lot of experience and the beautiful things that come with creating a lot of content. And so many of you I know have benefited from it so much, and that's all just so beautiful. And I'm so thankful for all of you for watching this channel, subscribing, supporting me in any way that you do. And I'm always just so excited to see and hear the results that you're getting from some of this stuff. But here's the thing. I think I've reached a point in my life as a jazz educator where more and more I want to move beyond one-sided content. So doing what I'm doing right now, where I'm sitting in a room and I'm like staring into a camera right now, and I know I'm talking to all of you, but it's very one-sided. Basically, I create it, you consume it, and in between, we never meet, right? And that's weird as a teacher. So most of my teaching in my life has been done in the traditional way, which is, people in a room together or two people on Zoom together and actual interactions, right? Getting to know each other, bouncing ideas off of each other. Through the educational process, me getting to ask questions about where you feel you're at, what are the difficulties you're having, hearing you play, unpacking what I hear in your playing. True teaching, really, at the end of the day. And the content thing is weird because it disconnects you from that teaching in its essence, right? Teaching is a two-sided thing. It requires a student and a teacher, right? So what I want to do in this sort of next era of jazz education, what I can do for the jazz world as an educator is actually work with all of you, okay? So that's one of the big reasons that you're going to hear about all this new stuff that's coming out that I think is just so exciting, precisely for that reason, because it's going to allow me to go deeper with all of you, if you want that. If you don't worry about it, okay? Now, that's not to say that the YouTube channel or the podcast or anything like that is going to stop. It's just going to look a little bit different than it has in the past. The other thing about creating content is there's so much wasted energy on what is actually going to get this content in front of people. And to be completely honest with you, I have sabotaged some of the things that I believe are the most valuable in pursuit of a subscriber number going up, right? Whatever pennies I get paid from YouTube, trying to see that number go up. And it really gets in the way of what would be the most valuable. So as I sort of think about what I want this to look like in the future, it's gonna look less like playing into the algorithm, trying to make this channel as big as possible, which the whole world will tell you that's the measure of success. But I'm starting to realize that really the measure of success that I feel deep down as an educator is what my students are getting out of this, right? That you fall more in love with music, you grow your skills, you form a deeper connection, you're doing more exciting things with this music, playing gigs, making records, simply playing in your room at home and feeling the satisfaction of getting better and increasing your skill set. That's really what I want. And I think sometimes I'm contributing to this ecosystem that is more overwhelming everybody, right? Almost making you feel like you're going backward. There's so much information out there. I've contributed to that a heck of a lot. And I think I'm not against information. Information is an amazing, amazing tool. It can inform you on what to do. It can give you new ideas. It can give you inspiration. It can do all these things. But the thing that's missing is, increasingly in today's world, that information does not meet you when you need it. That requires personal interaction. That requires an actual student-teacher relationship so that the teacher knows where you are through hanging out, questions, hearing you play, cooperation, and then figuring out sort of like what it is you need when you need it. So that's not a new thing. That is in fact how I've done the majority of my teaching for my entire life. But I just started to realize that this whole thing of making YouTube videos that are about some topic that I think is interesting and valuable, well, that's great. But I want to help you decide whether you should actually be doing it or not. And I don't want you to work on it because the YouTube algorithm decided to put that in front of your face. And now you're convinced, oh, I gotta drop everything that I'm doing and work on this one thing because that's what is in front of my face today. Okay, so that's kind of like a long-winded word salad of how I came to this point. Now let's talk about the exciting stuff, how things are gonna change, and some of these new things that I think you're all gonna love and that they're really gonna benefit you. So the first thing is, and maybe the most exciting, is that Chris Klaxton, who you've all met before on some of the conversations that we've put out on this YouTube channel. He's one of my best friends. I grew up playing music with him. He is an absolute world-class trumpet player. And he is also an amazing, amazing teacher and a generally cool guy. Don't tell him I said that, it'll really go to his head. But Chris is going to become basically an equal part in everything that I am doing going forward. And I'm really excited about that because two teachers, always better than one. And Chris has this like amazingly different way of thinking about music than I do. And I think when we sort of combine our two ways of perceiving music and thinking about it and teaching, it really is a pretty powerful package, right? When those two sides of the coin are combined, okay? So for that reason, this channel is going to become much less about me and more about the two of us. Now, that leads me into my next thing. I already talked about the fact that I think the true essence of teaching is actually working with students in real time, okay? So one of our goals, Chris and I, with this channel, is to present more content in the form of really, really powerful and impactful stuff that actually comes from interacting with our students. So the content is going to look a little bit more like, hey, check out this really, really cool part of a coaching call that I had with my students, where all of us kind of realized a lot of things, and so did I as a teacher. It all came through the discussion in the real time, bouncing back and forth of ideas. You know, I don't feel like there's enough of that. And the beauty of it is you can get a lot of impact from it without having been there. So more and more, we're going to be presenting that as like the content, not just me sitting here talking into a camera and hoping that you kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about, okay? So you're gonna see a lot more of that, and you're gonna see a lot more of Chris on the channel. Now, we'll make that sort of like one-sided content if we feel it's really good and we can get a really good point across and we feel like it's gonna reach you in a holistic way. And you know, we feel strongly that content is valuable in some way, just not an endless stream of it and making content for content's sake. I think that's where you can get into trouble as a teacher. Okay, so that's the first thing. You're gonna see a lot more of Chris Claxton on this channel. The second thing is, we're gonna rebrand this channel from Nick Manella, my name, to our brand new online platform called Jazz Skool. And this is just so exciting because what we're doing is basically we're moving this thing that was just me blabbing out to you to an actual school, a structured jazz education school. You could think about it like an online jazz university. And there's going to be a whole lot of things going on in there for people of varying degrees of ability and varying degrees of seriousness, what they want to get out of the music. But what I'm really happy to announce is that as an entrance into this ecosystem that is Jazz Skool, that will encompass a lot of different things, we have a group that is 100% free that you can join today that will allow you to kind of see what we're all about and even work with us. We're gonna have coaching calls every week. They're completely free of charge. And this is in an effort to get closer to you as the student. And, you know, I'm gonna be completely honest. We obviously can't make a living off of giving free education 100% of the time. We wouldn't be able to feed our families if we did that. So there is going to be these different components of Jazz Skool where we get to work more closely together. You get various resources from us that are going to be paid, but this is going to be a place that we can all come together and be a community. First and foremost, no barriers to entry. You can come into the group and you can stay for as long as you want. You never have to pay us a dime, and we'll always be there for you to work with us. So we're hosting this on a platform called Skool with a K, which is why Jazz Skool with a K. And this platform is great. It has all the good parts of social media without any of the bad parts. So no advertisements, no things to completely distract you, but all of the tools that we can use that make social media beautiful, which is staying connected to each other and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really, really excited about this. And I'm gonna leave a link to join the group right below this video. And I really, really hope that you'll stop by, check it out, see if you dig what's going on there, and come to some of the coaching calls that we're gonna be offering on a pretty regular basis. Again, after creating content for so long and seeing these numbers and reading all your comments and all this stuff, my biggest wish is to meet you, to actually meet you, and to actually be able to help you based on an interaction between us. So that's why we started this, that's why we're moving in the direction that we're moving. All of the information on the different levels of Jazz Skool, all of the programs that we're gonna be unrolling, and what might best suit you for your jazz goals, they're all gonna be announced and discussed and unpacked in that group. And I haven't even gotten to the best part. The best part about this group is gonna be the community aspect. It's going to be a place where we can actually connect with each other. And I have a feeling that there's gonna be a ton of amazing connections going on in this group. I wouldn't be surprised if bands formed from this group, because you might not even know it, but there might be, 5 people in the same neighborhood as you that are all looking for other people to play with and talk to about jazz and hang out and listen to records, whatever it might be. But this community is going to be where the real power is. You know, Chris and I and some other special guests that we're going to bring in are going to be kind of like the faces of this community, and we're going to be there to help you and hopefully get you further along the journey. But really, this group is all about you being able to form connections with other students of jazz, and that is what I'm the most excited about. So what you'll be seeing on this channel is content again. We're going to start putting out more content, and it's going to look more like interactions between Chris and I and students. And I think it's going to be really impactful. I really do. I'm very excited about it. You'll also see other content from us. There may be tutorials on this thing and that thing, but that's not the goal anymore. And we're going to try to just put out stuff that we really, really feel strongly about, that we really believe in. And we're not going to create content just to create content just because that's what everybody says that you have to do in 2024. So this is my formal invitation to you to come and join us in Jazz School. I really hope to see you there, and I'm really looking forward to getting to meet you and help you along your goals. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers. Bye.